All right, now this may be a hot take, and I'm well aware of that, but I believe that Pat McAfee is a perfect fit at ESPN. I look at what idea he generated this past weekend to unveil college football primetime, which is essentially a red zone style show that was hosted by Pat McAfee and Reese Davis on ESPN2. And it was a success. It was phenomenal to watch. And I'll be honest, I was a little bitter about it myself because I actually got the idea for a red zone style college football show a couple of years ago, but I don't have the resources to execute and see it through because quite frankly, I'm doing this show here from a MacBook Air and my Elgato camera, so there's no way that I'm gonna hold a simulcast like the red zone. So Pat McAfee, he fair and square, he beat me to the idea. It was a rotating show like the Red Zone college football prime time, where it highlighted like 7 or 8 different college football games going on at the time, and it was awesome, and that's just the layer of innovation that ESPN has needed. Now I've heard this narrative that Pat McAfee is not a great fit on College Game Day and that he's slowly eroding the show. However, I'm gonna debunk that theory because just from watching the show myself, I can tell that Kirk Herbstreit's, Desmond Howard's, Reese Davis, they genuinely have a great time when they're around Pat McAfee. He brings the best of their energy out of them, and from the consumer standpoint, it's a very entertaining product. I think College Game Day has been phenomenal this year, and that's my take from a viewer watching the show. The numbers back it up as well. Ratings for College Game Day have increased every week this year. I mean that every single week this season. And the average viewers for each show, 1.4 million. So it's been a success this year. Considering College Game Day, it's been a success this year. And I love College Game Day. I've loved the cast. Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso, Desmond Howard, Reese Davis. I grew up on that show. Even Chris Fowler was on there. I grew up with that show, and I love that cast. But the reality is, Lee Corso, sooner rather than later, won't be on the show. He'll probably retire here soon. So you need somebody with a legendary presence to fill in for a legend when he's gone. He has been the face of the show. Kirk Herbstreit has his role. Desmond Howard has his role. Reese Davis is the moderator. But you need that one centerpiece on the show. And that's what Lee Corso has been for years. And that's what Pat McAfee is being integrated into the show to be. And personally, I think he's done a phenomenal job. I get it. Pat McAfee is polarizing. Some people view him as boisterous, obnoxious, and I get it. He has a very expressive personality. He's a very unique individual. He's very loud. He has his opinions, and he has a style that resonates with some people. He's very authentic. When you're authentic, you come to find that the people that love you, they cherish you, they embrace you. But the people that don't, they really don't like you. And there's nothing that you're going to do to sway those people to like you. So don't even try. He's unique, he has a cutting edge approach, and his vigor and his lack of a filter, it provides ESPN with an edge that it's lacked for years. And the timing for Pat McAfee's arrival on the network has been perfect because ESPN's revenue has been declining for years now. That's been a trend. And they need somebody like Pat McAfee to provide the network with a layer that has been absent from it for years. It's ESPN from when I grew up. You had Chris Berman on Monday mornings. You had Stuart Scott on. You had Colin Cowherd on the radio. You had Dan Patrick on there. There were some legendary people on that show, or on that channel. Forgive me. But since then, it had become rather boring, and that energy, that those unique personalities, they need to return. And Pat McAfee is exactly what ESPN needed to fill that void. Now let's talk about an issue that a lot of companies have been facing, whether you're in media, whether you're in music, movies, entertainment overall. A lot of companies have been dealing with this, engaging younger audiences. The MLB struggled with this for years, and Pat, who else is better in the media landscape with engaging young people than Pat McAfee? Nobody. He engaged a young audience, high school people, the college demographic, the early mid 20s, even late 20s. Pat McAfee engages them because they can resonate with him. He's relatable. He's raw, but he's relatable. He's very innovative in his approach. That's exactly what ESPN needed. Some people have even labeled Pat McAfee as the Howard Stern of sports talk. And I can see that. That is very accurate. ESPN has had a reputation for putting a muzzle on a lot of its employees, for restricting people from saying what they want to say. And just having somebody on there like Pat McAfee who goes against the grain and says exactly what's on his mind, that's something that will repair ESPN's image when it comes to that as well. Having somebody authentic in there. It's awesome. It's been a fantastic move. And finally, yes, there's alignments between Pat McAfee's needs and ESPN's needs. Finally, I like the pairing, quite frankly, because Pat McAfee is just genuinely a good person. There's that field goal competition on College Game Day every Saturday morning where one person, it's usually a college student, is picked from the crowd to kick, I believe it's a 30-yard field goal. Don't quote me on that. I believe it's a 30-yard field goal. And if they make it, 'cause it's so challenging to people who aren't kickers to make field goals. If they make it, they win a certain amount of money. A student from the University of Washington won $30,000 from this. Guess that money comes from? Exactly out of Pat McAfee's pocket. He cares about his audience. He genuinely cares about his audience, and that gesture cements that. I'm going to end with this. There is that Athletic article a couple weeks ago that surveyed college football fans on their preferences when it comes to on-air personalities, networks, what coverage they enjoy the most. And it was found that 49% of people don't think Pat McAfee is a great fit on College Game Day, and they don't enjoy him being on the show. Instead of being butthurt about it, instead of being bitter about it, Pat McAfee acknowledged the article, saying that if this isn't what people want, then I'm not going to be on the show. I'm well aware that my style fits certain audiences and it doesn't fit other audiences, and maybe college football is one of those. And for that reason, he didn't re-sign his contract with College Game Day. That's humility. As expressive, as outgoing, as energetic, and as raw as Pat McAfee is, that statement shows that he has a sense of humility. The ability to take a step back and admit, maybe my style doesn't appease these people. That is humility. I don't care what network you are. That's somebody that you want hosting a show every week. That's the reputation that you want. And Pat McAfee, just through his actions, not only his words there, but his actions with giving college students money for sinking a field goal, it's a testament to how great of a person he is. And this is exactly the person that ESPN needed at exactly the time they needed him. And I wasn't sure what I'd think going into it, but after watching it unfold for a while, I think Pat McAfee has been a home run for ESPN. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and the time that you took out of your day to watch the video. And if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and share it, as well as subscribe to The Era. The more likes and subscribers I get on this channel, the more resources I can attain, and the more resources I can attain, the more value I can provide to you, the viewer. And that is how I show my appreciation for you for the time that you devote to watching my videos. So thank you so much, and have a great day.